What's going on, people? Welcome to mufcMPB. I am your host, Aaron Jakaya, and please, before you carry on with this video, please pause it for 1 second. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, all of these good things, because algorithm. So please do these things for us. It will help the channel massively, rather. Shout out to everyone tuning in. This is your official Sheffield United, Manchester United preview. We're playing Sheffield United on Saturday. The Premier League is back. Playing them away. Good memories from playing Sheffield United away. But the strange thing is they gave us the 8 p.m. kickoff, which is very strange. Very strange. I don't know. This is the second time I think we've got an 8 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday, on a weekend rather. Very strange. But anyway, we're playing Sheffield United. On paper, this looks like a no-brainer. They're bottom of the Premier League, minus 16 goal difference. I mean, our goal difference is probably not the best either, -4, I think. So on paper, you're thinking, right, they're bottom of the Premier League. We should be able to win against them easily. But if there's one thing that we all know, Manchester United never makes things easy. Never makes things easy. I mean, you just have to look at the previous game when we played against Brentford. We had to literally scrape that win, and we'll get to that in a minute, because I'll talk about the Brentford game that I was actually at. I attended the game, I was there, but like I said, we'll talk about that in a minute. So Sheffield United, bottom of the Premier League, they haven't been playing well at all. Everybody remembers the absolute slapping that they got against Newcastle, 8-0 at home, 8-0. That is, yeah, unbelievable. And the following two games after that, they lost as well. 2-0 to West Ham, 3-1 to Fulham. It's not been the greatest of times for them, despite them, you know, bringing in quite some quality, I would say. They have, I don't know what happened to Ryan Brewster. They brought in the likes of Archer, who I think is a good player. I think he scored already in the Premier League for them. Heckingbottom is under huge pressure. I mean, bottom of the Premier League, they came up from the Championship. You would expect them to do well. And I remember the first time they came up, they did quite well in their first season back in the Premier League. So to see them struggle at this point is not surprising, to be honest, because you have to buy some sort of quality. And the fact that they let go of the likes of Ndiaye, who went to Marseille, it's not been the best piece of business in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, Sheffield United. Manchester United, I think one of the good news that we had this week is that all 15 players that went on international duty came back. No injuries, everybody's fit, everybody's ready to start. But I'm quite concerned because I look at the previous game, I look at our previous performance against Brentford, and it's been nothing short of horrible, if I'm honest. You know, after that Brentford win, I celebrated for about 5 minutes. I was at the game, actually. And listen, I'll tell you something. You think it's bad. You would think it's bad watching it on TV. Try watching it at Old Trafford. Our performances have been absolutely atrocious. And I don't know for how much longer the fans are going to take this. And for how much longer we're going to keep getting away with it. Because you can't. You can't keep getting away with it. Time after time after time. Eventually, there will be a team that is going to punish you. And I said this under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when we played well. Sorry, when we didn't play well, but still got wins. I remember we got a penalty given after full time against Brighton away from home. We won that game. What happened the game after that? 6-1 against Tottenham at home. The City game. The season after that, I think we got... Actually, no. Yeah, Man City as well. Beat us a lot of times at home, away from home. So there will be a team that could punish us, and that team could be Man City, because we keep getting away with it now. But I guarantee you are not getting away with it against Manchester City. And that game is coming up next week. So I fear for that humiliation, man. It's coming. It's, as much as I don't want to say this and I don't want to seem negative and all of these things, but playing like that, the humiliation is pending, people. It is pending. So I'm really concerned about the way we're playing. And I'm really starting to ask myself questions with Ten Hag. Why is he persisting with the likes of Bruno and Mount? Because to me, Bruno and Mount are one and the same player. They have the same attributes. They are the same player. They do the same things on the pitch. So why persist with these two? And I really struggle to understand that. When we played against Brentford, Aaron Hickey, if I'm not wrong, that's his name. Correct me, please, in the comments. Aaron Hickey picked up a yellow card in the first 10 minutes. Within the first 10 minutes, he got booked. If we had a natural right winger on that right-hand side, a right winger on that right-hand side to just go at him, I would have, if that was Ten Hag, if that was me, I would have said, fair enough, he played Bruno on the right, which I think is another mistake that he's doing. I think it's such a bad thing to shoehorn Bruno Fernandes in that position, knowing that he hasn't played well since the start of the season. I can probably name you 1 or 2 games where he's been decent. He's not been good at all, but I'll get to that in a minute as well. If that was me, I would have said, Rashford, come to that right-hand side, please, and just go at Aaron Hickey. Go at Hickey the whole time. Make him pick up a second yellow card. Maybe Brentford would have been down to 10 men, and that would have given us an advantage in terms of numbers on the pitch. But I don't know. Ten Hag keeps persisting with some of these weird, not tactics, but choice of personnel, I would like to say. Do you know what I mean? Bruno on the right-hand side as a winger doesn't work for me. It's not because it worked against Burnley away that it's going to work at home against Brentford. And I pray to God, I pray that he doesn't do the same thing against Sheffield United. It might work against them, but that doesn't mean that it's going to work in the future. I keep tapping my mic, but that doesn't mean that it's going to work in the future. So I really hope Ten Hag plays a natural winger on that right-hand side. If you ask my opinion, by all means, play Anthony. He's not the best option right now. He's not back to his best, but by all means, play Anthony, a natural right winger, someone who knows that position, someone who knows to take on his defender, go around the outside, cut inside, something. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, the defense and the goalkeeper situation. People, listen, I was one of the advocates to bring in Onana. I was singing his praises. That Champions League final fully convinced me. I did see a lot of compilations, and I talked to an Inter Milan fan who told me that he has got a mistake in him. But I said, what goalkeeper doesn't have a mistake in him? Every goalkeeper has at least 1 or 2 throughout the season. It happens. Even the greatest goalkeepers in the Premier League. Even this season, the likes of Ederson, Alisson, they do have a mistake in them. But Onana, man, it's just been an absolute horror show, man. It's been an absolute horror show. I don't know if it's his confidence. I don't know if it's the pressure. I don't know if the badge is too heavy. But he seems like a super confident guy. So I wouldn't say it's anything to do with his confidence. I just wouldn't say that, because when he talks to the media, he comes across as a very, very confident guy, a very, someone who knows what he's talking about. So I don't know what it is. The defense as well needs to be shaken up. Obviously, Lisandro Martinez is still out. We don't know when he's coming back. So he's still out for a while. Lindelof hasn't been back to his best, because I know there's a defender in there. Varane, at times, he does act kind of passive, in my opinion. He can be passive, but he's the best of the whole bunch. Harry Maguire just played another 90 minutes for England. I don't think he'll be in contention to play against Sheffield United. I think it will be Lindelof and Varane. I think that's what it's going to be. So, but, we'll get to the lineup in a sec. So I think it will be Lindelof and Varane playing, and Maguire will revert back to the bench. But the defending sometimes has been absolutely shambolic as well. I don't know what it is, but we just concede silly goals, and it's always on the break. It's simple passes that go through our defense. Simple things. When I look at the goal that Arsenal scored, it's a simple cutback, shoot, goal. The Brentford, simple cutback on the Jensen goal. Again, it's too easy sometimes. And, the goalkeeper not saving the shots is not helping either. So it's very, very concerning. And, people might watch this and think there's a whole lot of negatives right now, Aaron, that you're mentioning. But name me positives that you've seen from the Brentford game alone that we can take into the Sheffield United game. It's really not been, it's not confident. It doesn't fill me with confidence from what I've seen. It doesn't. And if we think we're going to keep scraping wins and 3-2 and then we celebrate, and it's not going to happen. That's not how you don't scrape yourself to the top. No, you play with confidence. You dominate games when you have to dominate them. Sometimes you adapt different tactics. You can sit back and hit teams on the break. That's fine. But you don't win game after game after game by just scraping it last minute like we did last time. So it's very concerning. It's very alarming in my opinion. Up front, again, we struggle to score goals. Like every area of the pitch, and I'll get to the midfield in a sec. Every area of the pitch, we struggle. Up front, Rashford's not been firing. Højlund is the only one, and now that is the literal only exception, because Højlund is doing what he can. And I feel sorry for the kid because his footballing ability is so amazing, but we've narrowed his abilities down, and we've limited Højlund down to this combative wrestling striker when he is actually a good footballer. He can ball. He can actually ball. But because our attack is so toothless, we're not serving him properly. He's not getting any service. So that's why he's having to do all this wrestling and fighting and pinning defenders back. And yes, it's part of his game, but that's not his main attribute. Those are not his main attributes. People that have watched the highlights and watched extended highlights of his games recently with Denmark against San Marino, did you guys see that finish? That was an absolute exquisite finish. Roofed it, absolutely roofed it. Those are the kind of finishes we need to see. But then again, you look at the ball he's been feeded. He's not getting these balls feeded to him. And I'm sorry, this is where I'm going to go into the Rashford situation. Rashford talks about having a good partnership with Højlund. You haven't really been serving him correctly. Sometimes he's making a run just, at the edge of the offside. He's not getting the ball. And it's part of Rashford's obsession to always cut in and shoot. And now, when he scored the goal with England against Italy, I tweeted and I said, I mean, fair enough to the lad. He scored, but he's been trying that for about 2 months and it finally came off. And unfortunately, we're going to see that again and again and again. You need to switch it up a little bit. Yes, you want to cut in and shoot. I understand that. But try something else. Go around the outside. Float a ball into the box. Play a floating ball into the box. Højlund will be there. Trust me, he will be there. That's part of the, building the partnership. Trust that he's going to be there. When he asks for the ball to be played into him, play it into him. He knows what he's doing. Do you see what I mean? So, the attack is toothless, man, apart from Højlund. And that is a problem that we had last season as well. We've not scored a lot of goals. I think Arsenal scored, because we finished third, right? Arsenal scored 80 plus goals. Man City scored 90 plus goals. Manchester United, I think, we scored less than 60. That is not good enough. With the amount of quality we have on the pitch, Rashford is meant to be, because 30 GA last season, Bruno, best creator in Europe apparently. It's not, something has to give. Something has to give, because we're not seeing it at Manchester United. We're not seeing it. And, regarding Bruno Fernandes and talking about the midfield, that is the area I'm worried about the most, because I released a video yesterday on my channel about Jude Bellingham being a very good final third player. He's a good final third. He's a very good final third player with quick decision making, quick initiative, but good decision making. Bruno Fernandes is a final third player with quick initiative, but bad decision making. So a lot of times when he plays these balls into the box, when he puts in a cross, it's without thinking. He just, boom, he does it. Boom, he does it. Oh, someone will be there. He does it. No, I need him to think. But he's at an age now, it's probably too late to teach him that. He's 29, if I'm not wrong. It's probably too late to teach him that. So we will continue to see these performances. If you ask me, based on his previous Manchester United performances, I would bench Bruno Fernandes. I'm not looking at the performances with Portugal because, with all due respect to Portugal, they do this every qualifying campaign. Win 7 out of 7, 8 out of 8. When they come to the tournament, then they struggle against teams like Morocco. So I'm not really looking at that. And again, with all due respect, they played against Bosnia, and they played against Slovakia, if I'm not wrong. With all due respect, again, this is professional football, I know. Bosnia and Herzegovina and Slovakia are not the biggest and most toughest oppositions that you could play against. I'm sorry. I'm looking at what you do at club level. And Bruno Fernandes has not been performing. So, yes, I would bench someone like Bruno. I would bench someone like Rashford just to remind them, listen, you've not been performing this season so far. Do you see what I mean? So, let's get into some of your predicted lineups. Please put them in the comments. No, let me get to my predicted lineup. But please make sure you put yours in the comments as well. So I'm going to go for a lineup that I'm not going to go for a lineup that I want to see. I'm going to go for a lineup which I think Erik ten Hag is going to field against Sheffield United. So in goal, obviously, it's going to be Onana. That's what I think is going to happen. I think the back four will probably be Diogo Dalot as a right back. It will be Varane and Lindelof as the centre-back partnership. I'm assuming that Reguilon will be back. So it will be Sergio Reguilon as the left back. I think we're going to go with a midfield three of Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. And I think the front three will be Anthony on the right. It will be Højlund up front, and it's going to be Rashford on the left. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your predicted lineup in the comments. My predicted scoreline, I don't really like to do predicted scorelines, but because I know this team. This seems, on paper, this seems way too easy. It seems way too easy, but you know exactly what happens every time it's too easy. So I'm going to go ahead and play it safe and say 3-2 Manchester United. I think we can win against Sheffield United, but the way our defence is set up and with the way we've been leaking goals left, right and centre, and with Onana making mistakes all the time as well, I think Sheffield United can get a goal. As bad as this sounds, and I don't want to be too negative, but I think that's what's going to happen. But yeah, guys, please do smash a like on this video. Remember, algorithm. Leave a comment, leave a share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Always a pleasure to come onto this channel, and shout out to all the other presenters on this channel as well. Make sure you check out all the other videos that we post during the week, after games, before games, etc, etc, etc. Until then, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Peace.